Welcome to the Religiously Offensive Podcast.
We started. My fault.
So it begins.
My fault on that last part. And then, So anyway, Gabby, you don't have your book with you. How do we start this? One thing I noticed this morning, this is just
I get the book?
This is kind of one of those, not something to talk about really, but just kind of one of those like epiphany moments where I was like, so like when you're talking about sports, you call defense like defense, right?
Defense.
And then defense, like when you talk about like Lockheed Martin, they're a defense contractor. It's like
another thing about English.
You never say like national.
Put the emphasis on the different syllable.
You never say national defense, Isn't that weird?
Or when you're trying to put something around the boundary of your house, you're just putting up defense. Working on my dad jokes.
I see.
Yeah. I'll see myself out.
All right. We'll see you next time, Luke.
Hey, no, they can't all be winners.
Actually, you two talk for a sec. I need to grab my coffee.
Did we make coffee? No. Gosh, you guys. I can't do that.
I stole someone's coffee from yesterday.
Especially because you guys leave those grounds in there like so long sometimes and it gets like freaking
Rusty.
moldy and I don't ever want to drink out of that thing again.
I know. I had to clean it.
I'm just telling you.
I usually make coffee every day.
I think your brain
But the thing is,
I think that was
signals
like
to your body whether it's going to be healthy.
But the thing is too, like I don't like wasting coffee either. If it's only a day old, I drink it black.
Coffee's just
Yeah,
so
this is from yesterday's.
cheap to
Yeah.
be eating up
Delicious.
Huh?
old coffee. It's just so cheap.
You got to enjoy the process.
It's just easy though.
Now, if I put it in
That's
my Ember,
it's a
it'll heat up.
Yeah, it's
the
true.
algorithm. It's like how much energy is this going to cost me?
That's part of it. But the other thing is like I just don't like pouring out a whole thing of coffee. So if like half of it's left, I'm like, all right.
That's fair. It was from like less than like a day ago.
Yeah,
A
if
day
I
ago,
like,
yeah.
if it's in my cup, sometimes I'll do it too. Like if there was like cream and stuff, no, not a chance. But like I drink it black.
Yeah.
It's like there's literally nothing wrong with drinking old coffee as long as there's no mold in it. IMHO.
It's a fair rule of thumb.
Now
Don't
that
drink
we're
mold.
You wonder, okay, so if it's a dairy issue, like a cow,
What'd you call me?
milk can't go bad inside of the cow. It's just once
does
it's
the
outside
milk-
of the cow.
Does the milk get
But what if
created?
the cow hasn't been milked? Like,
Ooh.
Well, here's the thing. I think that the issue is if you could have the milk inside of a perfectly preserved, no bacteria chamber, it wouldn't go bad.
so I guess this is my question: if a cow's not been milked for 2 weeks,
But it's inside
Is that
nothing. It's
bad
not
milk?
exposed to the. It's
but
not
if it's outside the cow, it's bad milk.
Well, it's not exposed to bacteria on the inside. You know what I mean? Like outside bacteria doesn't get inside
also-
the cow.
Because also sometimes milk can smell fine after its expiration date, and it can also smell bad before its expiration date.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's just a guess
There's a lot
on
of
when they think
variables.
it's going to go bad. But like, I don't think it's going to go bad in the cow. We don't even know when it's made in the cow. It could be made right before they milk it. And that's just,
That's what I'm saying. What if a cow's like getting milked every day versus a cow that's milked like every other week?
All right, I got a question.
who knows? I mean, it probably has something to do with milk quality. I'm not a farmer. I don't know.
If you discovered that when you were conceived, you were one of 5 identical embryos and have 4 living identical twins, would you be more intrigued or distressed?
Intrigued.
Why would you be distressed?
Yeah, I'd be pumped.
Would you want to go find them all?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I'd want to find them like on social media before.
Just get the vibes.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, am I are these guys doing better than me or worse than me?
Yeah. Do we really
imagine
look
there's
alike, or-
4 more of
Has
you
my
out there right now.
biologist screwed me?
Do I need to go kill this dude and take his life or what?
You see one guy, no facial hair.
Yeah, are we
He's got-
identical? Can you assume their identity?
Yeah, identical.
Oh, dang.
They're identical.
You're going,
identical.
you're going
Well,
dark
that's very exciting now.
To commit murder?
to commit murder.
Doesn't have to be murder.
Here's
I mean,
something. I bet
You can put him in a basement.
I bet all 4 copies of you have a working debit card right now.
Bastards.
Whoever has the most.
Not even a working, just a debit card.
Just a debit
Just wanted
card.
to say that I have one.
Some of these questions are like insanely deep.
Some of them are, yeah.
All right, one more, and then we'll get into Justin's conspiracy he's been wanting to tell us about.
Oh man, I got a brush.
Okay.
Dude, you knew this was coming.
I know, but it's like
Oh
it's
my
a
gosh.
lot of
Some of these are
information.
just asking to be
I wonder
a.
if we should just listen to a couple of these things.
Hook it
Okay,
up,
here
hook
you
it
go.
up to the roadcaster.
If you had to either change professions or move to another part of the country, which would you prefer?
I'd move to another part of the country.
Which part?
The only reason I'm staying here in Orlando is because of this place.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait,
If I had to either, could you do both?
I don't want to move.
Yep.
I would do both.
And what to what?
No idea. If I still had a family, I guess I'd have to like make money.
If it wasn't for this place, I'd consider moving out of the country.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to go a step further too.
I think we can still do
I
that.
would've moved.
Though.
Yeah,
where
maybe-
would you move?
Hey, I met Mark and Patty on the shores of Mexico, and those guys
Maybe Amsterdam,
made it work.
Netherlands.
Amsterdam? I would move to Ireland. Christina's already sold on that.
I might
We
go.
would move to Ireland.
I might go Dominican Republic. I don't know how the laws really match up, but
But we would still have to do a weekly podcast.
Maybe even Germany.
just over Zoom or something.
just anything in the Caribbean is just very close.
I just
And
don't really care about like
the whole FTX thing,
The
like,
beach and
clearly the banking situation must be nice. In
Well, that's the
Jamaica.
crazy thing to me. Christina loves the beach.
I'd rather
Plus,
be
she
like
would
in the
still move to
mountains
Ireland.
and like
Dude, Scotland was incredible. Like,
Yeah.
just as far as mountains and
Switzerland. Ever seen
stuff. Pictures of
pictures
that.
from Switzerland?
Well, here's the deal. If you moved anywhere,
like
if
cold,
you moved
though.
anywhere in
It's
Europe,
epic, but
you can pretty
don't
much
cold.
easily get to anywhere else in Europe.
Yeah.
Really fast. So it's like, where would you feel like moving the most in Europe? I guess at this point, you're saying Netherlands.
Oh, Italy.
I've heard a lot of good things about Spain.
Have you been?
Spain, I've just never been
Yeah.
there.
It's like the best.
Yeah. Would you live there?
I don't know. I only went to Venice and it just doesn't feel like a real place.
For like vacation or
Oh, is that where they have the canals?
They don't have cars because it's like
It's just
an
waterways.
island
Because
with
of the-
waterways
yeah.
and
Yeah.
It's
I think,
insane.
yeah.
It's so
Gondolas?
They don't even
Yeah.
have like their buildings are so like you can't even drive. So when a trash boat comes around and you have to take out your trash from the
You just
window with a hook
talk-
and leave, like it's so different than
And that's where that chick died in James Bond Casino Royale in the basement.
she drowned.
Well, because they bombed
Of
a
a
building
building
and it
in
was
Venice.
flooding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
she
correct.
didn't die.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry.
Spoil-
I
You
was
haven't seen
literally
Casino
in,
Royale.
I was in Venice and we were at dinner and it was me and my friend Bo and we were like, bro, what happens if like a cop, like someone called 911 and needed whatever the number is, and
I
an
thought she
emergency
did
happened,
die.
He'll be here.
and then all of a
Eventually.
sudden, in the meal we hear sirens and we look and there's a police boat booking it down the waterway, like splashing people,
Oh
and I
my
was
gosh.
like, that's what they do. It was just like wild.
That's hilarious.
I've
so
seen
different.
police boat sirens, but they weren't, or heard them, but they weren't great. It wasn't
know
a
what
good
you're talking
scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah,
gross
no,
on the sandbar.
it's cool. I would love to, I would love to have my kids experience living somewhere that's just not here. Just that experience of a culture that's totally different.
Yeah.
It's safe, but like just different, you know? So, I mean, I've heard a lot of good stuff about Spain. I've never been there, so I couldn't
Oh yeah,
say.
that's another good
I
one.
have a friend that lives in Germany and they seem to love it there.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Germany's
pass
very,
on both of those. I'm going.
Similar.
I would do maybe
going tropical.
I've heard mixed reviews about Germany, but I don't know. I'm 58% German, so I feel like I need to experience it.
You want to be with
my
your
own
people?
decision. Yeah.
You'll
a
at
little
least
bit.
like it 58% of the way.
Yeah, right. At least like 58% of it.
I know. Try.
I need to go there during October though. That's kind of a thing.
Oktoberfest.
100% of you would like that.
So
Probably, yeah. But that's the thing. Like you experienced, if I experienced Oktoberfest and loved it, like I can't assume the whole country's like that.
No.
Just like Venice, like not all of
Right.
Italy's like that, right? Because I mean, there's Christina's family's Italian. They're off the boat, and they've just said from relatives and like just from recent trips they've made there, it's just like the country's totally different.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot more impoverished, and so a lot of that affects some of the bigger cities and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, granted, Switzerland, like every picture I've seen from Switzerland is a banger.
It's nuts.
I mean,
Germany also has sick Christmas markets. I was over there at Christmas
really?
time. It's like you're in the North Pole. It's unreal. They have Glühwein. Have you heard of that? It's like a wine drink, but it's hot.
oh, I've had something like that. It wasn't called that though.
It's like-
Is that just the German name for it?
Probably.
Okay.
But that's like a thing they have.
That's cool.
So
it had like
I had
cinnamon stick in
Fireball
it.
and hot
Yeah.
chocolate the
Yeah.
other day.
They also have,
That
like,
was magical.
Really?
Brats and
Got
all that
cinnamon.
stuff.
I love,
Like hint of cinnamon?
love brats and
You didn't taste that.
sauerkraut.
It's crazy.
And it's like literally you look around, you're like, I think I'm in the North Pole. They go so hard, and you're just like downtown.
Yeah, the closest I've been to Germany is Disney, and you know, I don't know how close that is. So
Epcot?
yeah, but
pretty submersive
so we went to a
experience.
restaurant with Nathan and Lindsay, and and they had these beer things that were like, I think they were a liter, like these beer mugs that were a liter of beer.
Just so much.
Yeah, I had a couple of them. They were
1,000 milligrams. Is that what we're working with?
milliliters.
Milliliters, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, it was huge. You're just like, this is so amazing. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
A liter. Yeah, a liter of cola. That's
Liter of cola. Can I get a liter of cola?
Gosh.
That'll get the job done.
Do we have a liter of cola?
Because I
Fantastic.
struggle with
Dude,
like
I
the
love
different like metrics and how to measure things because it's different. So it's like
Yeah.
I just think of a 2 liter and half of that. That's how I get there in my mind.
No, I mean that makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
It's strange that
The
we
2
have.
liter is what we all. Why is it even like
Why
that?
even is
Well,
that?
2 liter is so common, and a gallon is so common, and they just don't.
They don't do that.
They don't.
How many 2 liters in a gallon?
4 liters in a gallon?
How many 2 liters?
No, they don't.
2
they don't-
liters.
They don't add
in a
up.
gallon.
They're not
I'm
clean.
asking.
They're totally different metrics.
No, I know it'll be a decimal, but I'm just curious how many 2 liters a pop?
Because gallons is ounces, right? It's 128
Like four-
ounces,
like
I think.
2
and a half?
liters. Okay, so here we go.
I
4.
believe a gallon's 120
That is a weird
ounces.
question. Typing how many 2 liters in a gallon? You may as well just ask
I
how
would
many
imagine
liters in
not.
a gallon.
Yeah, that's
Probably
what I was
not more
saying. You were
than-
like, no, 2 liters.
No. Say 2 liters.
Like 2?
Someone's got to know what you're talking about.
I would think it's only
I'm
like
sure
a
that-
little
I'm
over
sure it's out
one.
there.
2. It can't be 2 liters that can fit in a gallon.
4 liters is 1.05 gallons.
So not
So just
almost
shy
2
of 4.
liters.
Just less than 2 liters.
No, 2 liters.
2 liters.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 liters.
Wow. So
This
4
is
liters
4
is
liters.
just shy of a
This classic
gallon.
brain of like, can we just call this red and blue?
Yeah. No, we can't,
It's
JJ,
green,
because
so
it's red
no.
and green.
JJ, the way you think, I'm like, man. Remember we were playing Halo that day?
Yeah, and I'm just like
Luke
this is-
literally thinks about that maybe once a day.
It's red free in
This,
my head.
this is how I've known it this whole time. I need you to guys know, to know it like this too.
He's like, no, it's 2 liters. I'm like, right.
2
4 liters.
Just shy.
2 liters, because I'm thinking of the container. I'm not thinking of
Right.
the number.
Yeah, 2 of those puppies.
2 bottles.
How did we end up
big
with
bottles
both?
of pop?
It's just strange.
Another thing that jacks me up is kilos. I have no idea the difference between that
Kilos are heavy.
and pounds.
2.2 kilos to, or 2.2 pounds in
per
every kilo.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah, that's tragic though. Because when you're like lifting weights, it's like,
But if you want to feel
Well, it just
better,
makes you feel
switch
like a
your
puss.
scale over to kilos.
When they
and
tell you, like, oh, I just lifted 90 kilos.
I only weigh 100
You're just
kilos.
like, I'd rather lift 220 pounds.
and it's also
That feels better in my
Right.
brain.
And then when you go to weigh yourself, you make it kilos.
We'll go back to kilos.
Right, exactly. It's like I was
Yeah.
saying.
Miles per hour in kilometers. Another thing that jacks me up.
1.6
Okay. I like,
But this, see, it's like
I
not
do
smooth.
like,
kilometers.
yeah. I like miles per hour in that regard. Everything else, I really do like metric
What about
system.
knots?
It's just easy.
And when you're on water, it's just totally different.
Knots are stupid. I don't know.
We're just going to get a whole new one that doesn't relate to anything just for water.
But isn't water also like when you talk about
Talking about the medium.
airplanes
getting into?
used to use knots, didn't they? They don't anymore.
I think they still do.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference between airplane knots and ship knots.
Is there?
I'm pretty sure. Nautical versus
Oh, nautical miles is a thing. I don't know.
Let's get into this conspiracy theory.
yeah, that's great. I just want to figure this out first.
Oh gosh, Justin's got receipts.
No, because this one also ties in La Biblioteca, which is actually not it's the Bible.
to the library.
Biblioteca's library. Not the library, just the Bible. But also the library because it's a book. So yeah,
So,
same, but different, but same.
Same.
Some could argue that the Bible is a library of books.
43 authors.
66 books.
That's what they told us.
That's what they told us.
Oh, knots are the same. I'm sorry. A knot is the same. But airspeed's usually measured in
One for the good guys.
Mark one down for the good guy.
kilometers or miles per hour.
All right.
Sorry. I'm
just trying to make sure I'm remembering this all accurately. Okay, so this one gets deep. This is like Bible, prophecy, Nephilim, giant people, also invasion of Iraq and 9/11. Like, whoa,
wow, this is great.
big time, right?
All right.
And here's why it gets weird. Okay.
What an entry.
Do we want to listen to the audio or just trust my memory?
If you want, I mean, I could.
I'd rather trust your memory.
Okay, sweet. So
That's all he needed. He really just wanted to do it.
And
All right,
then part two will be next week's podcast where we, correct everything.
Figure out what actually
got wrong.
happened.
This
One will be much more
This is all
entertaining.
purely
I can
from memory. All
confirm
right,
that
so
already.
someone
Let's
look
do
up
it.
quickly the Tower of Babel account in Genesis. It should be Genesis 11:9, maybe.
11:1 through 9.
Yeah. Okay, so read for me Genesis 11:9, if you could. Just curious,
Hold on. Oh man.
because this is kind of a horcrux of the whole thing.
Oh no.
Little Harry Potter
Genesis
reference.
11:9.
Yeah. Let me get Genesis 11:9.
That is why the city was called Babel, because that is where the Lord confused the people with different languages. In this way, he scattered them all over the world.
Okay. So correct. So Tower of Babel,
Thank you.
man's attempt to build a structure to get to heaven to usurp God, essentially. Right?
Correct.
So
Oh, man, I just don't know if I'm ready.
the inverse of Genesis 11:9 is 9/11.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Oh,
I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying, hear me out. Hear me
I already
out.
know where this is going.
Hear me out. Right.
We could have like a whole week of podcasts on
So
9/11
they think-
conspiracies.
So there's a conspiracy that the reason we went into Iraq, and so this would also assume that the United States government was behind 9/11, like attacking our own people, right? Because it was like all prophecy stuff. So we went into Iraq to find the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, or of Nimrod, like the leader of Babylon, when they were building the Tower of Babel.
where'd you get this stuff? Where did you find this? I just want to know.
Oh, it's just pure online nonsense.
Okay.
This was just 3 p.m.
So,
yesterday.
but this is okay. So this is why it gets weird. Okay. All right. Let me just.
I really wanted him to say TikTok.
It's from 4chan or 8chan.
Went to war with Iraq back in the day to get Nephilim. DNA.
Just
listen to this.
Listen to this email sent to government officials on the Freedom of Information Act website, requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim. That was sent on December 13th, 2018, and the status of that email is closed.
That's a real email that was sent on government servers.
So what is?
How
what
do we
does that even
how do we
mean?
get access to that?
Freedom of Information Act.
But what is
That's
it?
a
What's the
real email that was sent by
Saying
people
what?
with security clearances?
What
that-
the email say? I missed it.
We're looking for the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh.
Who's we?
The United States
United States government.
Okay,
And
now I'm with it.
ancient Babylon, guess where that is? Iraq.
So you're saying
So what? I don't understand. So
So
you're
the whole thing is,
Yeah.
you're saying we went to war?
the whole thing is United States was behind 9/11. This is not my
It's the
opinion. This is
conspiracy.
the conspiracy.
Yeah,
yeah, let's make that
United
clear.
States-
clarify that.
The
You
United
want
States.
to define Nephilim for people that don't know what that is?
Nephilim are accounted in like the book of Enoch or in Genesis. They were the giant people, like the large people, right?
Yeah. So the whole idea is like super soldiers. The
'cause
United
they
States
want the
is
Nephilim
trying
DNA.
to get the DNA
They
for
want
super
the Nephilim
soldiers.
DNA from that resurrection chamber because now we have a CRISPR and all these other
Right.
like and CIA funded like genetically modified like type of like companies. So the theory is we basically did 9/11 so that we could go into Iraq to find Nephilim DNA.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great movie plot.
That's a real email.
That's a real email.
Well, it's a video you saw.
No, the
Is
video.
anything real, Justin?
Freedom of Information Act.
There's
This
a
is-
real email.
You're not wrong. This is true. I did see it and I was
You
like,
know exactly
that's
what
nuts.
to say.
Justin.
So
But it's like, oh, here's the other thing. It's like, so
but the only accounting we have for
it's like
Nephilim
we're just
is
going to
like
trust
word
these
of mouth.
people are
right?
like on the up and up. People in power, we're just going to trust that like,
So assume all that's real, right? Like the Bible exaggerates things a lot, and I mean all over, right? So it's like, people assume like Goliath was 20 feet tall, right? I mean, he's just, he was just a bigger than average person,
I
like
think he
real
said he
big.
was like 9 feet.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's like NBA players get close to that. So what I'm saying is
We have no one's over 8 feet.
that, okay, close, 1 foot away. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like,
That's like considerable.
okay,
I'm saying the biggest human we know of is like 7'6", and this guy's just like 9.
okay, dude. All I'm saying is the pictures in the Bible make Goliath, like the pictures in all the storybooks make Goliath look like a freaking. You know
They're
what
also
I mean?
working on qubits.
Okay,
Do you think he's measured in milliliters or gallons?
guys, that was
I think that was qubits.
that was not the point in talking about any of that.
I
all
don't
I'm
know.
saying is
I actually
all
don't
I'm
know.
saying is like people tend to
large.
like people tend to exaggerate things that were stated, right? So I mean, Nephilim could just be like dudes that, like if you compared a lot of like the Asian cultures to like what you see in the United States, I mean,
Sure.
generally speaking, we're a lot taller. And you know what I mean? Like,
Well, the story of Nephilim is
or people in the Netherlands,
essentially-
they're taller than us. So you
It
compare.
was the angels, like the supposed story of Nephilim, according to the book of Enoch, it was the angels reproduced with women on Earth,
Yeah, is that just like
and that was the
is that
offspring
just
was
the
Nephilim.
story they kind of made to like kind of try to explain it? But what I'm
Story,
saying,
it's all stories. Pick your story.
All I'm saying, compare like the height of someone in the Netherlands compared to like the average height of someone in China or something like that, right? It's significant. So if you had those people like meeting up, these people would make all kinds of stories up about these people, knowing nothing about them. Like, oh my gosh, they must have come from. So it's like what I'm saying is, what if like this DNA is really only people that were just kind of considered average height now? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
And that'd be a lot of lives lost and stuff just for like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going literally off of what the Bible says about it. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming all that would be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
It's pretty wild.
But see, the thing I don't.
people text like email
When
each
people
other
start-
about the
when people
resurrection
start-
chamber of Gilgamesh.
Okay, yeah, that is weird. But like, what I also don't like when people start like switching numbers around and like, oh, 9/11, 9/11. I'm like, if you were the government really trying to do this, like I feel like you're not trying to drop breadcrumbs.
So this
Just
is
do it on 9/12.
So
like, right? Like,
yeah.
But that verse also doesn't have any relevance to the
Devil's
theory.
avocados.
what?
I feel like that doesn't tie into.
It's the tower. Well, it's because it's Babylon. Ancient Babylon was the civilization building the Tower of Babel.
Right.
And then that is and the other thing I forgot, when we went into Iraq first, the first place we went was to all the museums.
This is all.
Why?
The 9th verse of the 11th chapter is kind of the summary of that, though. Like, and then they go into another family line, right? So,
because then, yeah, that was the other thing is like when we actually ended up first going into Iraq with that war, the first place that our military went was like all the museums. Just like, why would we go to museums if this is about finding weapons of mass destruction? Like, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying it was a little interesting. We're trying to find that superhuman DNA.
the other thing is too, if this was all a thing, like, you think the government would have been smart enough to plant weapons of mass destruction in Iraq to like justify them being there?
So then this is the devil's avocado.
They didn't find anything.
Counter argument,
and so they're taking crap for being there either way.
It's the same thing with like the Illuminati. Is like the counter argument is like essentially like they can. This is what people believe is they can get away with doing heinous things because like they leave breadcrumbs. So it's like people.
What?
Just like the whole. I have to look up.
Why would you leave breadcrumbs though if you were trying to do bad things? Because that
absolves them from like, because it's like if you just did nefarious things and tricked people and left no like, basically it's like they're telling us what they're doing.
Though. But you can't really.
So it's like,
but
are we really?
You can't claim they're being transparent.
Well, right, but it's like the whole argument of like I forget. It's like a whole thing.
It's confusion.
Basically, like it's like they're doing it in plain sight. And it's just like, if you want to be oblivious to it, you can be or whatever. But it's like how like I forget the name of it, but it's essentially like they're absolving themselves of responsibility because they're telling us what they're doing. Not saying that I believe it, but that's the theory.
The other thing too, it's with a lot of old accounts and things like that. It's a lot of times what like the Illuminati and all those guys that really are, I feel like a lot of times behind some of these conspiracy theories, they talk about like people who are into that will all talk about like they'll take something that was a pretty generic statement if you think about it, and then like it could apply to a lot of different things, but then they create this story. Like Dave Portnoy talked about that with Joe Rogan on that podcast. He was like Nostradamus or something like that they were talking about. And it was just like
general. He
says enough generic things that some of them are going to hit, you know, at some point. Right. And when we call that like divine prophecy or something. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. That's
because there's also, okay, this is interesting. The lead singer of Imagine Dragons came out with some weird like Illuminati rant about how it's real. And like,
when?
I don't know.
As the time's come, just gonna break it quick, clean, get it done with. Doesn't matter that I signed a blood oath. Doesn't matter anymore. The Illuminati's real. I'm a member. It's how Imagine Dragons got famous. I'm tired of the politics. This puts me at great risk putting this out here and telling you guys this, but I believe in full honesty and Beyonce.
Well, who's the other artist that's talked about
basically
that?
it's like that was a buddy from Imagine Dragons.
Oh,
it was
Cat Williams.
Like, it's real. Cat
Williams has talked about it too.
Yeah, here's the other thing. Okay.
Cat Williams like does crack though.
Yeah. That's
a fair point.
There's a point. But yeah, so
around and find out.
What I'm saying the other part of this too is that I do also believe it exists for sure, because I think at one point some people got so obsessed with it they just created it.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So if it didn't exist, when they claim it did, it certainly does now, right? Of course they started something.
We definitely manifested.
You think of some, think of some egotistical, like, you know, like people
"That's not
worth
real, but
hundreds of
sounds
millions
like
of
a
dollars.
great idea."
Yeah, no, right. It absolutely exists
Someone was
because
we can make some money on this.
yeah, dude, there's enough egos and money out there where they were just like, yeah,
They already
let's
got a
do it.
logo out there. They're
No,
like,
it's-
they
yeah.
made it for us,
Bro, Bill
What
Gates,
I'm saying is, I
Bill
don't
Gates
think
is telling
it
us-
was like,
he's the guy telling us what like health is now.
Dude. Bill Gates. Did you
This
see
dude
his
doesn't
wife?
know
dude, Bill Gates is
anything
super
about it.
sketch.
Did you see his wife
He's
do that
kinda
interview
sketch.
about how like he would hang out with Epstein?
Oh yeah, well we kind of knew that, didn't we?
I don't know.
Yeah, where's the Epstein list?
I don't know.
How-
yeah, I know.
how did
None of
that-
that's come. Yeah,
We're just not going to talk about that anymore. It's
dude, think about Bill Gates' prime candidate. I mean, that dude ain't getting any action unless it's on an island with captive women.
children,
Yeah, well, yeah, I hate saying
Yeah,
that because
children,
it's so
not-
awful.
yeah.
not women, children.
Not women.
There's no women there.
It's awful.
It was only children.
Well, and the wife said that like she met Epstein like once and just like he obviously didn't do anything to her, but like she still just like did not get good
Not
vibes from
vibes.
him. Like just she was like, I can only imagine how
Where's that list?
like these younger women felt.
Ghislaine.
Kids.
Why is her name Ghislaine?
Justin.
Ghislaine. Is that how you say it? Is it like Jesseline or something like that?
Justin's gonna build a house one day, and the private drive going up to it's gonna be called Jizz Lane.
Oh, that's her name. But where's the list? Where's the list?
Ghislaine.
Where is the list? I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
Is
clearly,
there a list?
like everyone has to know that like he was up to something.
Bro, I'm
shady.
looking this up. Her name cannot be pronounced Ghislaine.
Jizz Lane.
Wait, what'd they say? Say her name.
You just go to Google pronounce.
Ghislaine.
Jizz Lane.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, she's
Are you kidding me?
yeah. Oh man, that's
hilarious. Ghislaine.
is that French?
Next
Is that
conspiracy
French?
theory.
What is that?
What?
What kind of name is that?
I don't know, bro. But someone needs to release that list because this ain't right.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
There's
screwy
people
stuff.
still flying that shouldn't be flying.
Oh boy, Luke, what do you think
boy.
about all this?
I honestly don't even know what y'all are talking about.
So, just
It took a dark turn.
this lady named Jizz Lane.
Yeah, that's
He heard that part, I'm
gathered
sure.
that. Not sure what that's about.
She's got the list, bro.
It has the list.
She's got the juice. So literally,
Okay. That's it for that.
That's
we can move on.
anything else you wanted to talk about there?
Oh.
It's related to that conspiracy. Anything else juicy?
I just want the list. But no.
Justin's making an official call for the list right now on this podcast.
I want to know who went to that island.
Well, that would be good to know. I think we're all entitled to that information.
Just odd though how certain things will just disappear like that. It's like it's like whoa.
And here's the deal: if it doesn't disappear,
We just don't talk about it.
If they brought the actual list, right? If they found it and they said, "Hey,
Flight logs.
yeah," if they said like, "Hey, here's the flight logs,"
We're video evidence
we're
from
at
the
a point,
house.
but we're at a point in time now to where no one would like. How would you believe that they're the real ones?
No, you're not wrong.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's such a time of confusion. Like we don't even know what's right. This is crazy.
I have a question.
All right, last question, and then we'll end it.
Would you add a decade to your life if it meant taking a decade from the life of some random person? If so, would you still do it if you had to become friends with that person?
no chance.
Oh, well, so if I could pick, like, I mean, someone that like has committed a horrible crime, yeah,
and you
I
have
mean,
to
I'll
be
do
friends
that.
with that person.
It
But
says
if I had to
random.
be friends with that person, no.
like
Nah.
you spin a roulette.
Oh, it's a
wheel.
random. Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
No, you don't know. who
It's
it
a
lands
random
on.
person you'd have to be friends with.
I couldn't do that.
That's
Because
just
what if
so
it,
much negative
what if it
energy.
lands on like a 5-year-old child? It's like, that ain't right.
That's fair. I'm trying to get one where you guys will have different.
Well, no, because then it doesn't matter. That they could still live till they're 80.
yeah, they
Yeah,
could.
but still, I mean,
You know what I mean?
It's just so much bad vibes. I feel like.
exactly. Like,
rob someone
why
of
is
10
my life
years so I
worth
can have
more
more?
than theirs?
Yeah, I think the next life is going to be dope either way. So I'm not.
No, here you go. Oh,
not worried
okay.
about it.
But what if you got lucky and got like an 80-year-old? They're basically done anyway.
So they just
They take 10 years away. It's like
die that day.
maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like,
But you're assuming he would have 10 years that he's not going to have now.
sure, you take that risk, but why not?
I don't think I
can't do
would.
it.
Yeah, because it
Nah,
would just sit way too heavy with me.
Yeah, I'd manifest way too much bad stuff.
If you could pick, just stay with me. If you could pick, and there was a guy that literally lost his kids, lost his family, everything has just gone wrong in his life. He like hates being alive. And he's 80 years old. It's like, hey, bud, I'll do you a favor.
Well, yeah, if you could pick, I wouldn't even pick it. Like I said to Zoe, I'm gonna pick like a serial killer or something. If you can pick, I'm gonna pick somebody that deserves it, right?
Well, I'm just saying,
Somebody on death row.
I'm picking someone on Epstein's list.
Yeah, the issue is I just
I'm not getting
if
on
I got-
this.
The thing is
I
though,
want to see the list.
if I have to be friends with them, like I'd rather just like limit the amount of time I have to be friends with that person. So it's like if they're old, it's like, all right, I'll hang with you.
Yeah, the whole
that's
being
fair.
friends with them thing would throw that off completely.
We all sound like horrible humans for even answering that, but
Yeah,
No, it's the question in the book.
I know. But it takes you to a dark place in your mind. Like,
I
what
will
if?
forego. I will forego.
Okay, here's the last one.
I said that was the last
An
one.
eccentric millionaire offers to donate a very large sum to charity if you'll step naked from a car onto a busy downtown street and walk 4 blocks before getting back into the vehicle. If you knew there'd be no danger of physical abuse, how big a donation would it take for you to do it? What if you
Nothing.
knew
A
your
donation
stroll-
to what?
I don't believe in any charity that much.
What if you knew your stroll would also be posted online?
So a donation to a charity. It's
Like
Your
of our choosing?
Sure.
Do other people know that you did this for a charity?
Can I pick my checking account, or it has to be a charity?
Has to be a charity.
Great
Yeah,
question.
I got no beef.
Great question. 4 blocks, busy downtown.
send it,
And it's
yeah.
going to post online.
Yeah, I'm okay. So the amount of money it would take for me to do that.
Yeah.
But there has to be more to it. Like I have to know. Do people know that I did this for charity in
It would
case I'm a
probably
rock
be 6
star?
figures.
And that'd be great. Oh, 6? I would say millions. But,
Yeah, I would too.
But like what I'm saying
6
is
figures or millions?
what I'm saying
Millions.
is what I'm
Yeah.
saying is if people knew
Because it has to be
that I did that for charity,
It has to be a dollar amount that moves the needle.
You
Because
think
it's
that
like if you're
video's
only
gonna
getting
go
like
viral?
50 G's, it's not
It
going to
would
make a
be.
difference. Like,
so what I'm saying is like if
I got like 5 million?
if the dude knew I did it, if people knew I did it for charity, then I feel like you would be like
Well, what does it matter?
you'd be
Either
so
way,
popular, you'd be
charity's
set for
gonna
life.
get it.
You could figure out how to leverage that. But what I'm saying is if people
we
thought,
also start a GoFundMe.
you don't think so?
No, I'm saying well, I hear your point.
Like
but
New
what if
York
you
man
couldn't use it
walks
for your
naked for
leverage?
4 blocks for
You
charity.
couldn't.
Yeah,
so
like
everyone
knew, but
donate
you
and
did it
subscribe.
anyways, and they still got the reward. Everyone's just like, some naked guy did this, and because of it, we got this. Like you don't get clout for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So I guess that
It's a random act of
But
kindness
does
JJ, that you don't get credit for.
Does the cause get clout?
Yeah, I mean you're about to make a
'Cause I-
massive donation because you're walking naked down the street.
I'd have to go to the gym for quite some time before I made that decision.
I mean you would get arrested. So it's like
you're good.
oh you none of
No
that.
legal problems.
None of
No
that.
legal ramifications.
Well, then
Yeah,
people
that's why
be
they said
I'm
no
sending
injury,
it.
no.
then people would be asking questions about why you didn't get arrested. People have to know.
See, the problem is once you say
Don't
like
think too much into
once
it.
you say
I'm
5
analytical,
million,
dude. I'm analytical.
like the problem is like once you say like 5 million, you're just like, well, I probably did it for 4
Well, it seems like there's no
or 3.
number 2. He's an eccentric millionaire. I'm definitely going millions.
He's quite eccentric.
Yeah.
Sicko.
I mean,
So-
a genuine cause that I think could actually help people.
Yeah. It's just a stroll 4 blocks.
Problem is, yeah,
I said everyone would have to know something about this. What if, oh my gosh, what if everyone thinks that you did it for personal gain, but then it actually wasn't?
Like you're a beneficiary of the 501c.
No. You were like, everyone thinks someone gave you millions of dollars to walk down the street, but in reality, they just gave it to a charity. But everyone thinks you did it just to make $1 million.
I think my number is $1 million. I think I'm doing it for $1 million.
That's a good number.
And
It's gotta be
the
seven figures.
conditions set in my question to you, same thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't really care. I
Okay.
don't really care.
Justin, you're a good person.
Good.
I'm
If it's
not.
gonna actually
full
help
set.
people,
I'm not a good person.
it's also because
Yeah, if it's
don't
going to
need to
like,
dive
if
into
it's
it,
going to
but-
like
yeah.
Kids Wish Network, I wouldn't do that. Did you hear like? 'cause
Justin
that's
said, when you got
was
what I
the-
got, you flown it.
I don't know if it was that podcast or
once
another
you've
one.
been
I'll step out on the street today.
once you've been extorted, nothing really matters.
Let my future wife
Were you
walk
on
by.
that? Were you on that? Did you see that? Was it? I don't know if it was the same podcast actually, because this is fresh in my head. But they said the Kids Wish Network, only 3 cents of every dollar goes to actual kids.
Like Make a Wish.
No, Kids Wish Net. So they like tried like playing off of Make a Wish. So Make a Wish is fine.
And they keep 97%.
Yeah. So it's like no, but what I'm saying is they basically try like they trick people into making them think, people unintentionally. Oh, Kids Wish Network, it's the same thing, but it's not.
That's insane.
Apparently, it's like they're like stealing money from people.
That's
It's
where you
crazy.
you hope God is real and those people are just catching the back end of some real bad karmic energy. I don't know. That's messed up.
It's insane.
Or there could be no God and they're just making tons of money.
Hot take.
It's a hard.
Entirely possible.
On that note, we're gonna end it.
Nihilism.
Nihilism.
It's dangerous.
Justin, I love your journey.
I love your journey.
Hey, it's just
oh dang! They
anything's
took
possible.
off his rebound.
I know stuff's starting to shift.
I know.
Stuff's starting to shift. Any tacos yet?
No.
All right. Talking about Prize Picks, everybody, in
Stay
case
tuned.
anyone knows.
Yeah, if you wanna get on Prize Picks, use our referral code.
Yeah.
We'll put that at the
referral
bottom of the
code,
screen here.
That's amazing. Sorry.
No, for real.
Gab's
No,
lost
no,
it.
for real.
No, really.
Same.
It's a 43LK dash. Anyway. All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.